This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. If you're watching this video, you're one of those lucky few students who is working with AJV services to come to New Zealand and create your future here in New Zealand. Well, I decided I'm going to greet you personally through this video, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to represent you and help you to come to New Zealand. This video is to give you some tips about facing an interview from the visa officer. Of late, there has been a lot of flux around student visas here in New Zealand, and the visa officers are being asked to interview as many students as possible to ensure that they're letting in only the right people to come to New Zealand. So I decided I'm going to talk to you and give you some tips about how we can prepare for this interview. Tip number one, be confident. Yes, it is never easy to suddenly pick up the phone and hear somebody say, my name is so-and-so and I'm calling from the New Zealand visa office, and I'm a visa officer. I'm now going to interview you and decide whether I'm going to give you a visa or not. That can be quite a scary moment for anybody, and I completely understand it. I remember the few times that I was standing in a visa line, whether it was for the US or UK, and I was waiting to come up to the interview with the visa officer, and it was quite a nervous moment, but if you are adequately prepared and mentally you are rehearsing it in your mind and knowing that shortly you're going to get this visa call, I think you would be better equipped. That is rule number one, is to be confident. Rule number two, once your visa application is submitted, you know that it is going to be only a matter of a week or 10 days before you're going to get a call from the immigration department. So ideally try and stay as much as possible in places which are quiet and where there is a good telephone signal, because if the visa officer makes a few attempts at calling you and they are not able to reach you, then they will decline your case. So try and not travel too much during that phase of 1 week to 10 days time, and try to stay in a place, ideally in a good comfortable area where the signal is strong and you can pick up the phone and talk. Tip number three, remember that it is not only your need to come to New Zealand, but it is also the need of New Zealand to have people like you. New Zealand is a beautiful country. We are growing, our economy is doing quite well, and we require good young people like yourself to come and join this workforce. That is the reason the government has created a very, very clear pathway where international students can come and study, then they get a post-study work visa during which they can find employment, and if the employment is appropriate, they will also then get longer term work visas or get their residency where you can live in New Zealand permanently. So this is not just your requirement, but it is also the requirement of New Zealand to be able to attract good talent from different parts of the world and bring you here into New Zealand and hope to keep you here with us. So be confident and approach the visa interview from that perspective, that not only is it your need, but it is also New Zealand's need. So convey that confidence in your voice to the visa officer. As I keep talking about confidence, I need to caution you, do not sound arrogant to the visa officer, and at the same time you don't also have to be completely be servile and subservient and keep saying sir and madam, and not required. Just be normal, just be natural. If you look at me, you'll see that there is a nice ease in my body posture right now and I'm able to talk comfortably. Do it exactly the same way. So see, I'm talking to you right now via this video, but I could as well be talking to you if you're on the other side of the phone. And I know, at my age, it probably is easier for me to be a bit more confident than a young person like yourself. But if you're mentally preparing yourself for this visa interview, you should be all right. And I'm sure you'll be confident as well. All right. So confident, but not arrogant. Very important. Next tip, please rehearse your course very, very well. Spend some time, sit with what are the elements in that course, understand what are the papers in that course. Ask my counselor, whoever is speaking to you, whichever AJV counselor is speaking to you, to provide you with a copy of the course curriculum. And you go through that course and understand which are the different papers. Not only will you understand which are the different papers in that course, but spend some time to understand what are the job opportunities in New Zealand in relation to that particular course. So you need to go to websites like seek.co.nz or Trade Me Jobs and try to see what are the jobs that are available in your particular area. For instance, if you're going to come to New Zealand to do a course in information technology, at least understand how many jobs are there in information technology, understand which are the cities that are looking at these, placing people from the information technology background, and understand which are the technologies that are trying to seek people in information technology. If you're coming for a course in business, likewise understand within business there are a lot of different parts to business. So if you're a marketing person, try to research and see what kind of marketing jobs are available, in which cities these opportunities are, what is the pay scale, so on and so forth. So be prepared very, very clearly. One of the questions the visa officer is going to ask you is, so in what way is this course going to help you in the future? And that's where you need to be very, very clear. You need to tell them confidently that I'm doing this course and I'm investing a lot of my money, my time and my effort, because I strongly believe this course will help me to seek a better career in the future. How? Because this course has got papers in A, B, C, D. My interests are A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will see that I'm able to match my interest 1 with paper A, interest 2 with paper B, interest 3 with paper C, so on and so forth. So I'm just giving you an example. So what you need to do is be very, very clear in your mind why you're actually doing this course. Unless and until you are clear, you will not be able to convey it to the visa officer. So that is going to be very, very critical, that you need to understand what exactly is the course all about. They will probably also ask you about your institution. So spend some time on the institution website and understand where is this institution, how long it has been established, what is its pedigree in terms of any awards and so on and so forth, and try to get that information and keep it ready. They'll probably ask you about the city that you're choosing as well. For instance, if you're going to a smaller city like, let's say, Nelson, or you're going to a smaller city like Tauranga, they'll probably ask you, why did you choose to go to that particular city? So do some research around that city as well. And so that when you're talking to the visa officer, you come across as a knowledgeable person who's researched that particular opportunity. Finally, remember that this particular interview will not last for more than 5 to 10 minutes of time. But those 5 to 10 minutes of time can define exactly what is going to happen with your visa, and in some ways is going to define your entire future here in New Zealand. So you be very, very clear about it. And do not shy away from telling them that after completion of the course, if you're eligible for the post-study work visa, that you intend to take up the post-study work visa, and that you intend to gain work experience in the course that you have completed. And hopefully you will also be able to pathway into a longer term work visa or into a resident visa. So if the visa officer asks you, so are you considering to stay back in New Zealand, you could probably give a little confident laugh or a confident smile and say, well, the policy of the government of New Zealand is to attract young people to come and address the skill shortages in the country. So if I'm lucky enough, if I'm privileged enough to be one of those young people to come and address the skill shortages in your country, I will be very, very pleased to play that role. So you need to be confident, and you need to put in a little bit of humor, and and just be natural and normal. That I think is the biggest key to the whole thing. So there in a nutshell are some of the tips that I would like to share with you. One more thing that they would ask you is, why did you choose AJV Services to be your company that is representing you? So you can tell them we've chosen AJV Services because we have gone through their profile, we have gone through all the online activities that they do, that they have a fantastic Facebook group where they keep giving a lot of information, that Arun, that is myself, as the licensed immigration advisor of the company, gives a lot of information through his videos on YouTube, and that we have a clear support system that we have set up here for students who come through AJV into New Zealand, and that we're helping them from the day they land in New Zealand to find accommodation, to get transport from the airport to the accommodation, to helping you with your CVs, your cover letters, networking you with our other students here already in New Zealand who have completed their studies and settled down, and that we will, as people who are present here in New Zealand, will continue to give you that support. So tell the visa officer who's interviewing you, we are very confident that there is no other company which is supporting students the way AJV Services is doing, and that's why we've chosen to work with AJV Services. One last thing they will ask you, so why did you choose New Zealand? You can also tell the visa officer that why we've chosen New Zealand is because there are every survey in the world that is conducted, whether it is around prosperity or corruption or safety or beauty or economy, so on and so forth, New Zealand is rated very, very highly in most of these surveys that are conducted by various global organizations, including the World Bank and Legatum Institute and so on and so forth. So tell them that's the reason I've chosen New Zealand, and in today's world, safety is a very big issue, and that will be consider New Zealand to be a safe country, and that's the reason I'm going as a young person to study there, and my parents obviously will be concerned about my safety, and that's the reason safety is a very big issue for us to come to New Zealand. But also that New Zealand is a growing country, it's a growing economy, and there are a lot of opportunities, and that is also another reason why New Zealand is attractive to us as a destination. So be clear why you're choosing the country, be clear why you're choosing the course, be clear why you're choosing the college, be clear why you're choosing the city, and be clear why you're choosing the consultant, that is AJV Services. And once you guys land here, I will meet you in person as well. We have a nice little team shaping up here onshore in New Zealand, and we are working towards creating better services for ensuring that you guys have a successful stay here in New Zealand. So all the very best with your interview. Do not be nervous. The visa officer is also just another human being like you and me, and this person is just sitting there in that chair. Yes, that chair does give them a little bit of power and authority, but if you do your interview really well and yet they decline the case, I promise you on behalf of my team that we will get the notes of that interview. We will examine to see whether you've done well or did not do well, and challenge that decision if required. But that is for stage 2. Stage 1, just do the interview really well and nail it the first time, and I hope to see you here in New Zealand very, very soon. I hope those tips were useful, and just one last request. This interview I made is, this video I made about interviews is meant only for AGV clients like you. You're very special to us, to me, and I decided I'm going to share my own thoughts around how to face interview. So do not share this video with other people because you're exclusive, you're a part of the AGV family. So let's keep it within our AGV family itself. So like this video, there are a lot of other little services that will be providing exclusively to you as an AGV client, as an AGV student. So yeah, let's keep it here between us as one big family. Thank you very much for listening to this video. All the very best and a very, very warm welcome to New Zealand. Haere mai ki Aotearoa.